we are putting our most powerful two-stroke head-to-head against our most powerful four-stroke to find out which one I'm fastest on. I think this is going to be fun. It's been wetter than an otter's pocket here in the UK for the past few weeks, which has meant that it's been really difficult to head to the track to spin a few laps. Luckily though, we've got a bit of a winter moto tradition called stubblecross. It's fast, it's furious, and it's loads of fun, and it will be a great opportunity to stretch the legs of these two beasts right here. Today I'm going to spin laps on both bikes, the Ducati Desmo450 and the Black Panther 600, to find out which one I'm fastest on. This is the Stubblecross Hot Lap Challenge. Which one's going to be faster? Leave your guesses in the comments down below. A massive thank you has to go to Chris Bastick from Train to Gain, who's provided us with this winter wonderland here today. If you want to get riding this winter and get some tuition as well, be sure to check out Chris and Train to Gain. You can come here and ride and get that tuition from Chris. I'll leave some info for that in the description down below. I'm going to be hitting the track on the four-stroke first, and as always I'll be using the Crossbox lap timing device here to log all of my laps out there to make sure they're super accurate. This device has been game-changing for us in our challenge videos like we're doing here today, but it also would be game-changing if you're a rider or a motocross dad maybe. You can really dive into the lap times, dive into the data, compare lines on track, set up sectors, and really try and improve your lap times out there. Even if you've got a private track like this one here today, that doesn't matter. You can go in to the app, set up your own circuit, set up your own sectors, and you're good to go. And if you're a schoolboy dad and you don't have one of these, why the hell not? You're missing out. A massive thank you goes to Crossbox for supporting the channel. If you need more information about this product, about this device, check out the link in the description down below. So we're rolling onto the track. First of all, on board the Ducati Desmo450. Get a little taster of what stubblecross is like. And that's what stubblecross is like. Oh, too cocky. Yeah, so that's what can easily happen. You get a bit too cocky out here. So I'll just tell you about the Ducati then. This is the most powerful 450 we're saying. Now it's always a bit of a contentious subject when you're talking about horsepower and what's the most powerful and what's not. Because dyno numbers are different depending whose dyno you use, what day you did their test and whatnot. But we can say that the Ducati here is the most powerful 450 we've had on our dyno this year, and I do believe that Ducati's claimed horsepower number is the biggest as well as the highest, 63 I think. So we can say this is the most powerful 450 out there right now. And now I'm going to lay down some laps here at the Train to Gain double cross track and compare it to my big old two-smoker. So let me concentrate and try to lay down some smooth, clean laps. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 laps. I'll pick my fastest out of those 5. Just come up to the start finish line now. I'll drop the hammer. Let's go. So the clock is on then. Like I said, I was going to do 5 laps, but what you're watching right here is the fastest of those 5. Conditions were a little bit tricky out there. It looks mega grippy, but if you step out of line, it was quite slick, as we saw earlier. Come on. There's 4 different circuits here at the stubble field, and the one that we used was actually pretty tight and twisty. We're about halfway through the lap now. Onto the fastest part of the track, the back straight. Woo! This chicane was tricky. To the last part of the track now, just a handful of corners left in the lap. As long as I can make it through cleanly here, I think I've put down a decent lap on board the Ducati. Through the final chicane, the last chicane here. And across the line I go. My lap's done on the Ducati Desmo450. It's hard to actually string a whole lap together without making a mistake. Well, I try my best to kind of start smooth and try to pick it up as we go along. But that's what I've got on the 454 stroke. Let's make things interesting. Let's get the Panthera BP Black Panther 600 out on the track. Let's get seeing some 2-stroke tunes. If you're just getting started in moto and you need all the essentials like the paddock stands, you see our bikes on here, ramps for the van, toolboxes, gazebos, everything, be sure to check out 24MX. They've got you covered for all your motocross hard parts, pit products, and so much more. They sponsor us here on the channel and they're a massive support. We wouldn't be able to make videos like this without their help. So if you're looking for all of those essentials, be sure to check out 24MX. There's a link in the description down below. So here I am on board the Black Panther 600 2-stroke. It's been a while since I've been brave enough to get this thing out of the garage. But when it comes to a power battle, this thing has to be in the mix. It has to roll out because we have had it on the dyno. We had it head to head. Oh my God! Against a 450 and the stock Varg, and it came out on top. It's a pure beast of unadulterated power, which is why she's here today. But she does take some taming. There's that big old pipe down there. So I'm going to warm up, then I'll do the same. I'll try and do some fast laps, 5 fast laps on the beast, the Panther. Wish me luck. Woohoo! This thing's got no chance. I was struggling out there on my warm-up lap on board the Black Panther. The brakes weren't very sharp and I was struggling to get to grips with the beast. Not a chance. Again, I was going to do 5 laps on the Black Panther, but you're only going to see my fastest of those 5. So let's get going. Like I said earlier, I was struggling to begin with, but after a few laps, I was starting to get to grips with the Panther. Halfway around the lap now. How do you think it's going? How do you think I'm looking on board the Panther? Sounding sweet, that's for sure. Just stopping for the turns was my main problem. But once I did get stopped, it felt like the bike cornered well, could hit any line I really wanted to go, whether a tight line or an outside line.
Oh, that was a bit wild.
And she was fast, trust me, it felt fast out there on this tight, twisty little track. Into the chicane, then one of the most important sections of the track. Can I get it right on board the Panther? Yeah, busted both of those berms up. Into the final part of the track then. One fast left-hander here before the final chicane. And across the line.
Wow! We survived the ride on the beast. That took a lot of concentration, I have to say. There we go. It actually went a lot better than I thought it would after the first warm-up lap. Once I kind of got used to that pipe just being there and the different ergonomics of the bike compared to the 450, slowly started getting into it. The brakes felt a bit lame to start with, but I think it was just warming them up. Yeah, when you're on the two-stroke, you kind of want to make it sing and sound like James Stewart on the 125, but you should not try and do that on this. I don't think it will eat you alive. So it probably sounded a bit more lame than I wanted it to in my head, but I think that was the most effective way to ride it for me anyway. So let's download the times from the crossbox. Let's find out the results.
I've got two of the most powerful two-stroke motocross bikes in the world with me right here, and they've got one thing in common: the Seat Concept seats. When you've got this much power, you need the best seat that money can buy, and that is the Seat Concept seat. They are made in the USA and shipped worldwide. You can get them in all sorts of shapes, colours and sizes to fit your motocross bike, your enduro bike, or even your adventure bike. A massive thank you goes to Seat Concepts for supporting us here at 999 Laser. I've left a link to their website in the description down below. So I've completed all my laps on the Black Panther 600 and on the Ducati Desmo450, and we lived to tell the tale. I have to say, it was pretty damn fun out there. I feel quite lucky actually. I don't think many people get the chance just to rip up an empty field like that, an empty stubble field. So once again, a big thank you goes to Chris Bastick from Trains Again for providing this awesome winter wonderland today. The Desmo performed basically how I thought it would do. It's got awesome power, it's got all that tech. The traction control was on, the quick shifter was on. I was in map mode 2, and it was great out there. It was fast, it was easy to corner. The brakes were amazing. I think that will play a big factor in these results, is the brakes. I know traction control, I'm faster with it on, which is why I used it today. The 600, I'd almost forgotten how much of a beast this thing is. It is seriously fast, scarily fast even. It sounds absolutely insane when it's on the pipe. Just the crack of that thing was incredible when you're on the pipe, which wasn't that much around there. I have to say it was more low down luggy power, but when it was singing, what a song. The pipe there in the front you can see is absolutely ridiculous. It's massive, and that made adjusting between the two bikes quite difficult because that is in the way a lot. When you stood up, you don't notice the pipe so much. It's when you sat down, and on the stubble field, I was sat down probably 95% of the time probably. So to be honest, my first laps on this, I thought there's no chance I'm going to be able to beat the Ducati, but As the laps went on, I got more and more and more comfortable on it. And by the end, I actually felt better in the turns on this thing than I did on this thing. But let's get to the results, shall we? I've downloaded my Crossbox data onto the phone, onto the app here. Well, producer Phil has, I haven't. I've not seen these lap times yet. So let's take a look. So we'll start with the Ducati. My fastest time on the Desmo450 was on lap 3, which was a 2:02.51. In the app you can break down all of the different sectors on the track. And I can see that I didn't really manage to string them all together on one lap, but my fastest on the 450, 2:02. Now this is where it gets interesting. I asked you guys at the start to leave your guesses which one would I be fastest on. So let's see if you're right. This is the moment of truth for the Black Panther. What? Fastest lap on the Black Panther, a 2:01.88. So nearly a second quicker on the two smoker. Woohoo! I was not expecting that whatsoever. The times, like I said, like I expected, the times got quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker on the 600. First lap was way off. Last lap, banged it in there. And best lap in theory, so that's when you string all of the sectors together, all of your best sectors. The Crossbox app does this for you, so your best lap in theory was a 2:01.19 on the 600. And interestingly, my fastest lap in theory on the Ducati was also a 2:01.93. 600 still takes it, but that just takes out my inconsistencies and shows they're pretty similar, to be fair. I'll show an overlay now of the two laps on top of each other on the Crossbox app. We'll be able to compare the lap times and see where I gained the time on the 600 over the 450, which will be super interesting. And we'll see the top speeds, and you can really dive into all of the data that the Crossbox logs. But there we have it. A surprising result, I think. Like I say, you'll probably hear some mutterings on the GoPro on my warm-up lap about this bike having absolutely no chance. It does feel weird, it feels a bit alien, it feels like a freak machine, which it quite rightly is. I thought I wouldn't have a chance against such a refined race bike like the Ducati, but on a flat field with deep peaty soil, I guess there's no match for outright power. Black Panther takes the win today. Wow. As always, guys, thank you for watching. My name's Max. This has been 999 Laser. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Till next time, I'll see you at the track.